Hi, fourth grade. Today in 16-2, you're going to be learning about how to classify triangles. So we've used that word classification both in math and science. And remember, that's just when we look at things and we group them by like characteristics. So today we're going to be learning about two ways we can classify triangles. Let's go ahead and take a look at the vocabulary that's at the top of your worksheet for today. And again, I apologize, just like yesterday, that the photocopies are not so great. I have gone and drawn over some of the lighter triangles. So if you want to take a minute to do that, you can while I go over the vocab. So our first type of triangle is called an equilateral triangle. You'll notice that root word equa is similar to equal. And that's how I remember what this triangle is. All the sides have the same length or equal lengths. And when it's drawn, you'll see these little hatch marks across the sides, and that is telling us that all of those sides are the same length. The second kind of triangle is an isosceles triangle. In an isosceles triangle, at least two sides are the same length. And again, we see that same hatch across the lines that are equal in length. Now we see a scalene triangle. That's the third kind that we're going to learn about this week, scalene triangle, where none of the sides are the same length. And you'll notice there are no hatch marks on any of those lines. All right, now we're going to be talking about the angles within a triangle. We have a right triangle, and you see our little box that tells us that that angle is exactly 90 degrees. So a right triangle has one angle that is a 90 degrees. We have an acute angle where all three of our angles are acute or less than 90 degrees. And we have an obtuse triangle. I see that one angle is an obtuse angle, meaning it's larger than 90 degrees. So all of these kinds of triangles give us two different kinds of classifications. Our first three are classifying triangles by their side lengths, the lengths of their side. And the last three are classifying triangles by their angles. So we can classify them by their angle measures, their side lengths, and sometimes we can do both. So we're going to do a few practice problems, but I wanted to show you your problems for today. I went ahead and drew over some of the lighter triangles. If you cannot see yours on your page, hit pause, go ahead and draw them in as best as you can, making sure you use those symbols that help us know what kind of triangle we're looking at. All right, let's go ahead and do a few practice problems. Whoops, I don't know what happened to my paper there. All right, so let's do 3 through 6 together. Okay, and I'm going to actually have my, can I do that? I bet I can. Hold on, kids. We're going to have our definitions just below it so that you can see exactly what we're doing. Okay, so we're going to look at number 3 first. So I see a very tall, thin triangle, and I see those two hatch marks. So let's first classify number 3 by its sides. Now, it doesn't have all three with hatch marks, so it's not an equilateral triangle. It does have two. So it's an isosceles triangle. So I'm going to write isosceles. And if you have to look, don't worry, so do I. I can't ever spell that word without looking. All right, so this is an isosceles triangle. Now let's look at the angles. Is there a box to tell us that there's a right angle? No. Does it look like all of the angles are less than 90 degrees? It does, but let's just double check. And the obtuse triangle, nope, none of these angles are bigger than 90 degrees. So it is an isosceles acute triangle. Good job. All right, now let's look at number 4. Take a look at this triangle and tell me what signs show you what kind of classification we can give it based on its sides. If you said those hatch marks, you are right. That means it's an equilateral triangle. All right, so we're going to go ahead and write that underneath, equilateral. And now let's take a look. Does it have a right triangle symbol? No. Are all three angles smaller than 90 degrees? It looks like it. Do we have any one angle that's an obtuse angle? No. So this is an equilateral acute triangle. And I'll give you a hint, my friends. Equilateral triangles are always acute, always. So you can't make an equilateral triangle that's obtuse because one of your sides would have to be longer. And you can't make it right because, again, one of your sides would have to be longer. So equilateral triangles are always acute. All right, let's take a look at number 5. Oh, I see a giveaway. Do you guys see it? Yep, there it is, that little box that tells us it's a right triangle. And then I also want to see, so we're going to do the side length. We know it's a right triangle. Do we have any hatch marks on this triangle? No. So that means that none of these sides are the same in length. So it is a scalene, a right scalene triangle. All right, we have one last practice problem to do. Number 6, again, take a look at the sides. Are there any hatch marks? No, there aren't. So it is, you're right, a scalene triangle. And does it have the box for the right triangle? Nope. Does it look like all of those angles are less than 90 degrees? Nope, I see one that looks much larger. So it is an obtuse triangle, a scalene obtuse triangle. All right, so again, have those definitions with you while you are working these problems out. Will help you a great deal. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to give Mrs. Fallon or I or Miss Donahue or Miss Thompson a call. We would love to help you. Have fun.